Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game. Today we've got Australia for life, Hilo rushing with 4, and he's up against Lil Goat, or should I say hashtag coloured text 7 open square brackets, hashtag trait underscore SF Lil Goat, hashtag trait underscore SF close curly braces. So he's playing seventh, which is fourth older brother. Generally, these two divisions were released reasonably close to each other. I think fourth came out first. It was like the third division added, or third set of divisions. Fourth East German and second Panzergren came out at once, and then they added seventh Panzer and fifth Panzer. I think it was that way around. And which one's better, which one's worse? I think fourth is better. The idea is that you do a funny forward deployed rush, and then you back that up with some decent tanks and ATGM spam. But our contestant here, Australia for life, is literally just running all the way to the enemy spawn with a bunch of MI8s. And I'd be very, very surprised if he got that far, especially given that there's a plane currently barreling towards him. Einsatzgruppe here, which he hasn't pathed. And then 3 more helicopters, which he's put so close together that one cub on the middle one would damage all 3, I think. Don't think it would kill the ones on the left and right. It would damage them. And he's bought a fob on 4th East German. And then there's some packs, 3 pack guns and ACV. So, which he hasn't passed. So, quite frankly, the strangest fourth deployment I've ever seen. Going up against him is a sort of pseudo-regular 7th deployment, so he's open playing because he's expecting helicopters, and he was right to do so. Then he's got 3 Spezialaufklärer all going here to fight the 4th Special Forces deployment, right? Spezialaufklärer aren't as good as FS Metis or whatever, but this guy isn't bringing FS Metis. He's not bringing FS Jaeger 3 times PKM. He's just bringing some helicopters and a fob. And some more Spezialaufklärer going over here. Okay, so it's gonna drive past where it's gonna drop off, and then it's gonna drive back and unload there. All right. Aufklärer, yeah, dropping off there, and then he's sending the vehicle over to here, so that's smart because the vehicle's got its own optics. It's got good optics, so that would let you see down here, right? Whereas this guy's letting you see down there, so that's good. A cub, MTLB munitions for the cub, a mortar for smoke, CV, and a T-72M, a fob, which on 7th can make sense because you spam the RM70s. I'm still a bit against it, really. I think 7th you want that T-72 momentum. And then on the left we've got a motorized Aufklärer. And then he's reversing the recon unit so that, because it's got a Malyutka on it, it can shoot down there, which is cool. And then, yeah, Motschutz and SVD, Motschutz and Führer, and Igler. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot here, but it might have something to do with the fact that he bought a fob. So we'll cast the game, and we shall do so from this perspective. Right, so they're off, and it's time to thank the generous channel joiners, generously joiner in the channel. They get the names on the screen, they get the videos early, they micro their MIG wrong, so it doesn't get its guns off on the first pass. At the higher tiers, you get your games cast at a rate of 1 per calendar month. But you got to send me the game, right? I had somebody say I can't wait for my first cast, and then he didn't send me the game. So, you got to send me the game, bro. Anyway, this guy's done an absolutely terrible job of microing this. And yeah, now he's going the wrong way again. Oh, these guys, they're not going to have a great time. Although, Australia for life here hasn't actually put this on an attack move. He's just literally just going over here. These ones are an attack move. And yeah, he could have killed all that. So he finally gets one. AA Helo's not good against planes. I mean, typically if you're doing this as blue, you want to open with a MiG-29 so that you can protect your Helos. But somehow it's working. I mean, like, there's no zone here, mate. Why do you want to be there? Why not unload Dimitri? Somehow that plane wins that fight, despite being way worse than the other one. How is this happening? What is even going on here? The Cub got killed by the Helos. He just sort of attack moved into it. The Eagle, yeah, I mean, this ain't going well at all for anybody. So MiG-21 gets hit by the Strela. I mean, not sure some Fury's getting up here though. I mean, Red, he's winning on points. I mean, what a bizarre open. I've never seen anything like this. This is like both players playing in a very strange manner. Yeah. So Red, you know, he keeps buying planes, and he needs a bit more AA. Because obviously, yeah, the plane's getting evac there. T-72 will die to this thing. And the Motshots and Fury is probably not long for this world. So Australia for life needs to be buying ground units, really, to solidify his position. But instead he's buying more helicopters. And he's not even, like, these should be going back to the fob. Okay, great, he's doing that. So if you select these and you hold shift and you right click on the fob and then right click over here, they will automatically go back, resupply, and come back. The only problem he's got is he's put it in the trees, so the auto resupply might try and land them in the trees, and then it just spends ages not being able to do it. In the meantime, he loses one on its way out to the igloo. Which he should have known about, because it had fired. It was at 5 shots before, now it's at 1. So so he knows about that, or at least he should do, and now he's putting somebody else across it as well. All he's got to do is come over here, he'll be fine. Red's still winning somehow. I mean, he's got to get this over there, but he's not doing that. And he's got to get some more AA. Well, he's got AA, but he knows that there's enemies in here. He gets his own helicopters, right? He can put 2 helicopters here. He's still buying planes. I mean, that MI4 should not have been purchased, basically. It outlived its usefulness. But yeah, Australia for life, hopefully, will be coming down here now. Will he finish capping that? No, he won't. He did notice, at least, there. And yeah, he needs to stop buying helicopters. Like, what is he doing? These packs should have been moved up. He's taken that ground, so they should be moved up. This one especially should be over here now. With its juicy 2,800 meters, you can get quite far in there. And he should be buying ground units to reinforce his rush, which honestly I never assumed would work. But it has, so great. As for Red, you know, his first priority needs to be taking this back before it gets reinforced too much, and he's identified that. He should also have put this over here and moved this one up to here, like he's just not capping this zone. What? There's no artillery? What just happened there? So for some reason, I mean, he just lost all his guys in their transports, and he knew this was here, so that was not great. But for some reason, a fire started here. And I don't understand how that happened. Was it the Igler? Or like a plane missile started a fire, and then the AT gun just sort of ran over the fire and died? Because like none of these have fired anything. I need to go back. I need to go, but we need to find out. Right, so that's how it happened. This plane strafed that pack, and it started a fire, and then the guy just sat in the fire. You didn't load it into the transport. It didn't even try to automatically move. It just sat in the fire. And then eventually... I mean, this is the Australian experience right here. Oh, there you go. He's like, oh, I should probably do something about this. Yeah, he's dead. Oh, man, what the hell was that? Anyway, you know, don't be just driving your guys into the enemy and dying. Top tip. And Australia for life really shouldn't be spamming out the helicopters here. He should be buying something else. And Lil Goat should have capped this zone, which would stop this tick. But he's not doing any of that. And this Strela should really be in a tree or something. because it's very easily spotted. Having said that, Australia for life, you know, he's a bit outnumbered here. I don't know, just... Okay, yeah, they will eventually go down. I mean, you'd assume this one would go down as well. He just should have stopped buying helos, because the fact of the matter is, right, you buy some helos, it works, great, congrats. But the next thing the enemy does is buy loads of AA. So if you keep buying helos, you're just going to run into the counter. And it's the same with anything. You don't want to buy too much of anything. That's how you get combined arms. Anyway, he's got 80 rounds left. Is he going to go for it? He's just going to buy another one. Or he might be... I think these are all from before. I think he didn't actually lose any when he was buying them before. Because there's no cubs here or anything, right? Anyway, Australia for life is just going to drive into this. Because he's like, well, it's not capped, which means there's probably nobody there. Which is a logical idea, but actually what's happening is Lil Goat just hasn't bothered. Like, if this was here, that wouldn't be getting in there. They should have capped that. Having said that, I mean, +5, soon to be +6, is not fantastic. I mean, he's winning the... he spotted the fobs. He spotted the fob because of the... Or he spotted the helos. And he... So he spotted the helos, and he probably assumes there's a fob there. Or he assumes they're going to land. Because, yeah, the air thing can't see the fob, but if you put all your helos in the air next to it, it'll see all the helos, and then it's like, well, what are they doing there? So, yeah, that's a dead fob. I mean, as soon as this gets into range. Which apparently it isn't. I mean, okay, yeah, you can see that line advancing there. It's like the Death Star. Anyway, in the meantime, your boy Lil Goat just keeps driving into this Einsatzgruppe. Although he's about to run out of ammo, so I guess that's one way of fixing the problem. The AT guns were moved up. Great. But Blue has taken some horrendous trades here, mainly because he just refused to buy anything other than helicopters. And, yeah, I mean, this is gameplay right here. He gets the CV, because it's just stood there. This will start opening up on him if he gets too close. And this Einsatzgruppe, anything for that? Maybe a MiG bomber. I can't remember if 7th gets the MiG-21 HE bomber. It would really be really useful. But you see, so this is something you see a lot happening, is that basically Lil Goat was never going to look over here until his enemy capped it. And he was like, oh, what happened? Oh. So the case could be made that maybe you shouldn't have driven this CV in here. And then he never would have capped it. Anyway, you know, this... Okay, so he finally bought the helo. I mean, he's got the air cover. This has been stunned now. I mean... Like, there's a case to be made for trying something with one of your 3 Special Abklärer. For starters, if this was in this building, it would be shooting them as they come down this road. Whereas, because it's here, it's not really doing anything, because nobody ever comes down this road. He says, as a bunch of people decide to come down that road. This game's too high level for me, bro. I just don't understand what's happening. Anyway, we've now reached a situation where if this motorized Abklärer was paying attention, he could kill an RM-70. But that fob is very dead. He's landed his helos just in time to eat that RM-70 volley. I wonder if he'll use the whole volley or if he'll split it. He gets it all. So, yeah, I mean, this is beyond me, man. I wish I was good enough to understand what's happening here. Somehow this died. All he had to do was go backwards. This guy had no rounds. What? Somehow that died. I mean, yeah, okay. These guys didn't just come over to this hedge and blow that up and now it's getting away. This guy is still buying helicopters, even though he's clearly running into loads of AA and planes. He needs to buy helicopters. Must be an Australian thing. This Conkers, which is in the wrong place, is now in the perfect place to get all these, because for some understandable reason, they are taking the less efficient path to reach their destination than they should be. And now he's just sending another CV in here, because that went so well last time. But he's still on a +4 somehow, because Red just hasn't bought a replacement CV for the one that he just drove into the enemy. What is going on? Red still trying to fight the air game. I mean, why didn't he bring the MiG-29? Which is better than anything 7th gets. Instead he just brought the MiG-21, which is losing. And dies in one hit to a Cub. His CV's getting shot, and yet he persists. Some real gameplay going on here. What was that? What was that? Oh no. He's just gonna sit there, because this is out of rounds now. Guess that's an RPG. Was this a ranked game? Anyway, yeah, 4th player, still buying planes, big plane fan. Instead of shooting this in the back, which he had a clear run on, he goes on the other one. Somehow it works and ends up being the strategically correct choice. Mainly because this guy evac'd. I mean, he had 32 gun rounds, but I understand no missiles. This guy's still diving superior planes. It's working. He's out of everything, but he hasn't evac'd. He's flying over the igloos. They finally get him. This is just sat here. I mean, all he's got to do is send it over there. These guys are still here. The helicopter hasn't been sent over to kill him. The Einsatzgruppe finally die. The guy's just been running past them all game. And one shudders to think how powerful Lil Goat would be if he bought a CV and capped Ivan and Boris, instead of just letting a +5 tick exist. And perhaps he could come over here and... perhaps he could deal with this problem. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, what is going on? These guys are going to get in simply because now this has been sent from there. And the tank is here, the helo is here. All you got to do is walk forwards. Is there anybody there? You have vision there! You know there's not anybody there! Is this the meta down under? Is this the power of the Australia meta? Anyway, he finally got that CV. And, okay, so he's adjusted... What? He saw that this had nobody there. He bombed it. He interrupted the volley because he's like, okay, there's nobody there. And then he bombs it again. I can only assume that the second volley was to try and catch these out. The way you can do that is you press T and click there, and then you click return fire down here. And when you release return fire, then it will hit that area. And then he could have got these as they came in there. But I'm just assuming here. I mean, I haven't been right about anything else in this game. He's finally bought... I mean, he's really letting this run down to the wire here. He's finally bought that. Australia for Life is incapable of not buying helicopters and will lose these the same way he lost the last 20 million helicopters he bought. Somehow, he's going to get in there because this is just going to run out of bullets. And now we have to rely on the SPG to get him. He's finally bought his best unit. It's been 15 minutes. His best unit, which is the most powerful at the start of the game, has been purchased. Finally. This is still going on. He's just driving supply into... Like, they run out of rockets, which is one way of dealing with the problem. And so he gave them some supply so they can continue to do that. And now this is going to get blown up. Does this guy not have a single bomber in his deck? Either way, if he'd had 2 helicopters here, could have killed that pretty fast. If he'd unloaded the Panzerjäger, could have killed that. Somehow this man has retaken this zone through sheer force of will. I honestly despair. And all this time, his 3 Spezialaufklärer have just been stood there watching the world go by. Red awakes and will soon be on a +2, but will he? Because Australia for Life is sending one down here. I honestly feel like these two guys are just baiting me, and they were like, let's play badly. Try and get it cast at me. I don't want to offend anybody, but this is the weirdest game I've ever seen. Either that or you know, they're inebriated. However you pronounce that. Inebriated. 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 I can't spell it.
Inebriated.
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 Inebriated. Intoxicated. Anyway, Australia for Life is now going for... Why is the CV going over there? Surely it should be going over here? 23 minutes left on the clock. And honestly, this could go any way it wants to. I've got no idea what's going on here. This is the strangest game I've ever seen. Just so many weird plays. And they're working. Because both of them are doing weird plays. I despair. I'm out of water. Yeah. But like... What? I mean, both players... If they just used 10% of their power, could have won this game by now. Either one of them. But both of them are just doing the strangest things you can imagine. Things which just make no sense. Like, look at that! You've not been in that zone all game. You should assume there's somebody here. And for some reason, there isn't somebody here. But there is somebody here. Oh, man. He's got a bomber! Why didn't he buy that back here? Oh man, he gets evac'd. No supply for these guys. But yeah, one shudders to think what happens next. Will Lil Goat go for Paul? Australia man has finally realised he has something in his deck other than helicopters. And the RM-70's firing from next to the FOB. But I guess it doesn't matter because the other FOB got blown up. Because the guy left 3 helicopters next to it on altitude. If they'd been landed, the plane wouldn't have been able to see him. Anyway, he awakes. And yeah, so this was just a ploy to make this guy run out of AT ammo. Because now he can't hurt him. Despite that, now he's running away from him. AT1 goes the way of the dodo. How did that cub die? It must have been this Conkers. T-55s en masse. Will they beat the T-72? I mean, if there's enough of them, they should. Especially if the T-72 misses like that. I mean, it's... You know, the accuracies are the same. Yeah, the T-72 is probably going to get suppressed. I mean, especially once these two get... Yeah, so you had to smoke that. Still no Conkers here. We should be shooting all these as they came down. It'd be side-shotting them. Be very effective. There was no Conkers put here for blue, which would have been shooting these guys as they came down here. Somehow the ticker stopped. 21 minutes left. How on earth does this game have 21 minutes left in it? I feel like I've aged about 3 years. What an odd game. Anyway, yeah, I think now the momentum is with 7th. It really depends. I mean, these guys are just in a constant battle to see who can throw the most. He's still buying helicopters. So yeah, like who will throw the most? I mean, maybe you could get some recon here and put it here, right? Or up here, and then you'll be able to see this all the time, right? You have infantry recon here. This exceptional stealth, how cool would that be? You can see this. And then you can blow it up with some arty or something. You got to be careful how you use planes here. If you just... Okay, so napalm going out. It will go down. You're still buying air assets. It didn't get what it was going for. The T-72 died somehow. Yeah, so if you're back here, right, you're blue, and you see a tank here and you right-click it, it won't hit it. Because of this hill here, the plane will rise, and then it won't be able to get its bombing thing off. So you've actually got to path it over here and then come in on the side, which I think is actually really cool. I used to find that very annoying, but now I think it's preferable. I mean, As long as you understand what's going on, it makes sense. I wish it would tell you. The game would have like a pre-check and it'd say, you know, altitude's not great. Or something in the tutorials. I mean, he's just literally just driving his stuff over. What is going on in this game? Okay, so tank coming over there. There's a shulker there somehow. Grossly entertaining. I mean, probably one of the funniest games I've seen. Obviously, I don't remember every game I've seen, but this is a very, very funny game. And, yeah, I mean, so he's going to counterattack now? Okay. He's bought an RM-70. This, like, just should be shooting all the time with a CV next to it. Because you've got this fob, and you've used 2,000 supply in 20 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I hope you guys don't think I'm being too harsh here. I do want to be a good person, but I struggle to find the words to describe this. This is so strange. I feel like both players must be intoxicated. There can't be any other explanation for this. This FS Jaeger's going to have a field day. The thing is that this will probably cap the zone before he kills him. It all depends on side shots. Man is fast moving down the path, so he is going to get side shot. Oh no, he pops a smoke. Okay, apparently that covers him. But yeah, this can just go into the smoke. You could just move. You're just going to let him sit there. Okay, he's doing it now. Okay, the guy just decides to just do peekaboo there, I guess. Smoke's fading, got side shot and died. But he capped the zone. But now this is just coming back in. And like these weren't moved up to support. Why wasn't this put there? Shoot down the main road. Why didn't this guy come over here? Why aren't these Strellas moving up? Like, what's going on? So Australia for life, trying the coveted send a BMP-1 SP2 with mot shots and Fuhrer around the side strategy. That's definitely one we've not seen before. Oh, he realised he's got this, but he's missing. So the FS Jaeger is moving up, which is very intelligent behaviour. Another thing you can do, like, because you want to minimise your time in the open, you could right-click over here and then shift-click over here, or you could right-click over here and shift-click over here. I mean, this is obviously the fastest way, but if the enemy had something supporting here, you would die. The thing is, he doesn't. So you can get away with it. And, yeah, you know, it's... the game has slowed down a bit now. I guess Blue ran out of helicopters. He's got no fob. He's buying RM-70s and then not firing. Okay, so he wanted two at once. And he's going to do a real number on that munitions vehicle. I'm surprised he's not buying the ones with the 2,800 meter range ATGMs. They'd be pretty useful, especially on this map. I've not seen any of those. Maybe he bought them here and they died here, because you don't get as many of those. Lil Goat has finally put the Conkers in the good Conkers place. And here comes the RM-70s. You know, they might get... No, looks like they're going to miss basically everything. I wonder if he'll interrupt the volley. Anyway, these have max range. The thing is, they've only got 14 pen. So I'm pretty sure... Like, can they even shoot this? Yeah, you see, it can't even shoot. Because the armor... The AP is not high enough to pen the armor. So 15 armor, it can't shoot at max range. So it just sits there saying holding fire. So even if you've got the range advantage, it doesn't actually matter. Depending on... Obviously, if you're close enough, you can shoot. Because the pen goes up. But when they were at max range there, they couldn't do it. But now they're not at max range. And Lil Goat here is content to just eat lead, apparently. Like, all he's got to do is you know, get somebody with some normal optics over here. They'll be able to see that. Oh, here we go. He's actually... Wow, these guys have actually moved. First time we've seen that in 30 minutes. what an odd game. Anyway, the RM-70s, you know, they're reloading. This one just should be shooting all the time, really. And I don't believe that this is... Oh, he's got one left. He's got one left. This isn't in good position, but he's got one... this has smoke. Both of them do. So if he's paying attention, he could smoke it. Will it work? Look, if you had one shot, I think it's going to hit. Yeah, I mean, because you get higher accuracy as the range decreases, and that was literally like 50% range, so it would have been pretty high accuracy there. So, yeah, somehow this is still even... He's putting up a pretty decent smoke wall there, but there's no units to back it up. So what's the point of this? You want... So okay, if you're going to smoke off everything, you want close range units. And if you smoke behind a position, you want long range units so that they can shoot that exposed position, right? And whereas his enemy fire support can't help. Special, I've played... Loads of guys have been dying in transports recently. But this, he's shown his hand. He's like, I'm going to attack here soon. But he's not actually doing anything. So all that's happening is now Australia's like, oh man, this zone is empty. I gotta reinforce. I might lose the game. But in the meantime, Red is going for the hardest objective to attack and the easiest to defend, rather than going for these over here, which are empty. Oh, he's moving. Something is happening. So this is cool. So I like to see that. I think that's really good. Getting this to here is also very powerful. And now you can move this Conkers up to here, right? Or you can leave it there in case something bad happens, which seems to be happening a lot this game. So now he's got view on the reinforcements coming in. You'd expect to see some purchases, you know, get some inf in there. But instead, he started smoking this. Since then, 2 minutes have passed, and all he's done is bought stuff for the right side. He's bought like 40 72s. Guy is showing his rear. Must be a twerker. So that's how he took so much damage there. RM70's coming in. I think they've missed again. Yeah, they missed again. Okay, so now all he's got to do is walk in here because Blue hasn't bothered buying any infantry to hold this ground. MiG-21 HE will die in one hit to a cub if it hits it. Cluster's out, so now he's got to move to the right, or move forwards, or move backwards. Or just sit there because for some reason the cluster was passed on the wrong place. I'm clearly just not qualified to cast this game. It's just... None of this makes any sense to me. Not quite sure why that was going where it was. I'd assume it would be going for the stuff, but... anyway, infantry first. Yes, get that infantry in there and then send the CV second. Don't get side shot. Big learnings from centre. Big learnings from centre. And, yeah, I mean, he's going to get some points on the board. He's got to hurry up a bit. I mean, he needs to go a bit faster here. Maybe, you know, maybe send one T-72 in and just check it out. Or send this in. You know, it's only 30 points. Just fast path it in. Where's the enemy? There he is. Hit him. Isolate him. You know how far up you can go. These Mochetson should be moving to the front buildings. Like, shift click, shift click, shift click, shift click. But yeah, I think we've reached critical T-72 mass here. Although the FS Jaeger got deployed and just beat up that Spezialaufklärer. Yeah, he's getting in. He's getting in. It's going to be a +4 soon. There's no zone here. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a suboptimal way to play. You're just exposing yourself to enemy AT planes, which for some reason we haven't seen any of. Fourth gets the best AT plane in the game, the Su-22 AT. Don't think we've seen that all game. It's very effective against any tank. And especially when your enemy's this far pushed up, you can assume he hasn't brought his AA with him. Which, as you can see, he hasn't. He's relying only on the fighters. So, there you go. Red takes this zone. +4 for Red. 10 minutes left. I mean, he's got loads of RM70s. By loads, I mean 2. And so he could RM70 this before he comes in, but instead he's just sort of driving his units in and losing them in the transports. He does have to solve this problem as well. A recon helo. Helos here would be more useful because you're near your AA. You're near your spawn, so you can get your fighters out faster, but he wasted all his helos at the start, so now he's not got any. This is going to be a juicy bombing run. What? I don't understand that at all. It wasn't pathed. He didn't even, like, path it wrong. It just wasn't pathed. RM70's coming out. There you go. So you'd want these to coincide with your infantry, but they're all dead. I mean, imagine if he had some Mi-24Ds here, he'd be cleaning this up, but he wasted them all. Wasted them all. Over here, you know, there's really not a whole lot of activity here. The reinforcements are going over to the right, where he's already got loads of infantry. Like, literally tons of stuff there. Like, these should be coming over here, really, trying to make something happen. I'm not sure what the plan is for these tanks. Like, it looks cool, but you're just going to get side shot. And the lower the range, the more weak tanks overperform. Because it doesn't really matter how much armor you've got if you're so close that the kinetic energy goes up by 1 for every 175 meters. So as you get closer, it starts to become a lot more important. That needs to unload right now. It does. Incredible gameplay. Didn't really expect that to happen. And you see at longer ranges, it's only doing 1 damage. But at these like knife fight ranges, it's actually pretty effective. Engine destroyed crit, great. And imagine if he had the ones with the ATGMs on him. Anyway, he's coming in now, and he's just driving in again. He's not. You need to unload like here, especially if there's like a flipping T-72 there, which you know about because it's been shooting you. RM70 going on the enemy RM70, which hasn't moved after shooting. It might die, it might not. Sort of comes down to the RNG. I mean, they've only got 6 HP now. It depends if you split the volley as well. He did not split the volley. That's all. I think that's the full whack there. There it goes. Let's fall for Lil Goat. I mean, this guy he's just sending guys in trucks to die. They're not even fighting. I lament. Lots of infantry here. She doesn't really need. I suppose he's probably recognised that he doesn't actually need any more zones. I think the +4 is probably going to be enough to win it. I think it is. Because you know, 6 minutes till total victory, whereas there's 7 minutes left. 6 minutes until 2,000 points, basically. So he did have these bombers in his deck, these very effective bombers. Imagine if he'd used one of those back here. And he does have AT planes. But this is the one 4th should have as well. You need it more in 4th. So I bring the seed with it. I don't understand the point of bringing those stupid napalm planes. They're rubbish. You need the seed and you need the AT plane. And that way you keep your AT plane alive. So, yeah, I mean, they continue to sort of thrash about. But, I mean, Blue's totally toast, dude. I don't understand why he's still in this game. Maybe he thinks he can wait out the clock, but this is not looking so good now. Obviously, he has imperfect information as well. We have complete information, and he does not. So yeah. I mean, RM70 comes in. I wonder if he'll move it after it shoots. So he did have these in his deck all this time. He's just not been buying them. It's just so much better than this one. For 20 points, you get this missile, which can shoot those T-72s at max range. Only does like 1 damage, but 2 hits and they're low cohesion. It's very, very, very useful. Very useful. He did have FS Jaeger in his deck, and he did have FS Metis in his deck. I mean, he basically just played the whole game backwards. You want to open with these forward deployed units, and then swap into the helicopters later. Because, yeah, if you suddenly smack a bunch of helicopters out at 20 minutes, usually they've not got the AA to deal with it, depending on where you put them, right? So, okay. I mean, surely you want reinforcing infantry here. But, yeah, this is very exciting. So, yeah, Vertigo SMG, they've got 3 MGs. I'm not sure what SMG stands for, like, obviously MG, machine gun, but SMG would assume submachine gun, but there's S.MG, so maybe some Germans in the chat can tell me in the comment box. Did I thank the generous channel joiners? It was so long ago. Did you know they get their names on the screen? Like, why on earth would you ever bring this instead of that really good AT plane? Or the SU-22 cluster? Don't know if they still get that. They definitely still get that really good AT plane. Because as fourth, your main opponent is tanks. Which he clearly recognises because he's got the clusters. But this is like a high-altitude bomber. It takes 9 seconds from the bomb being dropped. Your enemy has 9 seconds to move. Or in this case, he doesn't move because he just knows he's going to survive. T-72s are quite outlandish in that they've got 3 top armor, which is crazy for a medium. Like, Chieftains don't have 3 top armor and they cost 20 points more. I think they're the only medium in the game with 3 top armor. But there you go. I mean, Reddy's got in here. He can now take these side zones. 4 minutes left. To close it out a bit sooner. I mean, I assume this was a friendly, man. I assume, although who would want to play a friendly and your friend supposedly helo rushes you? I mean, so I don't know. Was it a ranked game? What a bizarre game. So many twists and turns. RM70 coming in, presumably on those Pioneer Flams. Just wait for the missiles. There it is. And yeah, 2 minutes left. Should be a bit less as Red cleans out the CVs. I'm not sure what Blue is clinging to here. I mean, it says here that he's going to lose, and he is going to lose. Very, very far behind. Just can't deal with these T-72s at this point in the game. But yeah, what a strange game. What a strange game. So with that, Lil Goat on a +5. I mean, you know, yeah, there's 1 minute left. Counter RM70 there, gets the conkers. What was his name? Bartel. And yeah, he's still buying stuff. Still buying stuff. Wow, yeah, you got the ones that can actually do something. With 2 minutes to go, he's finally bought those. Whoa, wow, they do a lot more damage than I thought they did. I guess these are the base T-72s, the ones with less armor. So yeah, Lil Goat wins. What is going on in the land down under? This guy has 2,000 games. How on earth is his win rate so low? What is going on in Australia? In the containment zone? I'm lost for words. What a game. What a game. Maybe you can find some to describe it. I'll see you around, GG.